Om Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Param Param Isvara Guratmeti Muchi Veda Vibhagine Vyomabda Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Sava Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Satguru Pranatoshmaham Om Shanti 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 Om Namaste. Welcome my good friends for our last class of 2021. This is it, no more. So now we're going to have to turn our year calendar to get another class, as if that would mean anything. Okay, so we are back here with our Swami Paramarthananda, the big picture, Vedanta, the big picture. And we are beginning from the page 57. And we will do so unless we have some questions or considerations or insights or anything before. Okay. So we start again from the seed state. Before creation, the universe existed in seed form. As matter can be neither created nor destroyed, it always exists in some form. Prior to becoming a desk, the desk exists in the form of wood. Prior to that, it exists in the form of a tree. And before that, the tree exists in its seed. So when we look at a wooden table nowadays, there are so many plastic tables, but the wooden table, we can see the seed, right? Because the seed is built in as the source of this table. Nothing is created anew. Creation simply manifests what already exists in its seed potential formation. Prior to manifestation, the entire cosmos existed in the causal body in an invisible, dormant, unmanifest condition. This potential state of existence is called karana vasta, the causal condition of the universe. This karana vasta state can be divided into two aspects. The first is the causal body, known as avidya. And the second factor is the potential form of the entire world of experience, known as Maya. So we touched this subject, and I said, let me read it to see where Swami Paramarthananda goes with this distinction between the two aspects of Maya, let's say. And I have studied some class with him in the past in which he went into this nuance, explaining the distinction of avidya and Maya, which is not the case in this book. So this book, he's just stating a few little this distinction between these two aspects of Maya. Prior to manifestation, the entire cosmos exists in the causal body in an invisible, dormant, unmanifest state. So he's referring to the macrocosmic causal body but in its seed formation, in seed condition, okay, in seed state. So we have the manifestation of the entire cosmos, which is the macrocosmic body of the universe, and it's there unmanifest in its dormant potential seed condition. This potential condition of existence is called karanavasta, the causal condition, the causal body, the causal state of the universe. So this potential existence of the universe here, he presents it, he says, can be divided in two aspects. The first is the causal body known as avidya. This causal body refers to the causal body of the individual souls, the so-called jiva atmas. So the jiva atmas, they are integral part of this universe. They are the agents, the experiencing entities. They exist within the macrocosm, causal body, cosmic condition of the universe. So as far as the causal body of every single soul, this aspect is known as avidya. So the other factor or aspect is the potential form of the entire world of existence, known as Maya. So now we have Maya as the seed of the universe, the seed of Nitya, and exists as a potential, it is a power to project, the universe. It in its causal formation, Maya is there, ready to exercise its power of projection. But within Maya, we have the individual souls already existing with a certain condition described in the scriptures as avidya. So whenever it is there in the cosmos, in the macrocosmic causal body, it's understandable to us that the individual souls are in a state of absolutely ignorance, not knowing, because there is no experience, there is no expression of cheat, of knowledge, of knowing anything. And we know that because we go every night to the deep sleep, in which the subtle body shrinks back, let's say, into the causal body, and then the individual in its micro condition is there experiencing ignorance, experiencing not knowing anything, right? So this is avidya, which is always referent or relevant or intrinsic only to the individual souls, the jiva atma. So the first one he says is avidya, these two aspects of this macrocosmic causal universe. We have avidya, and then the other aspect is Maya, is known as Maya, because it is the power which is going to project Isvara, Jiva, and Jagat in the subtle and in the gross universe, physical material and the subtle. Maya is doing that. It brings it, into its causal body, in which the Jiva Atmas, the souls, experience avidya. And then how about when the Jiva Atma is fully developed, not only into the subtle body of the universe, the macrocosmic subtle body, we have the jivas existing already in the subtle level, and then in the physical material, gross level, when we have the visual, experience its dense manifestation and experience the dense world of objects. So in that state, so how about this avidya? Because the individual soul as the awaker, the visual, they exercise a certain cheat. We have a certain knowledge. We have a certain understanding. We have the ability to see and discern certain things and determine and making choice and so on. So the Jiva Atma has some knowledge, working for him or for her. But in spite of that, we say that the individual soul, it suffers from this condition called avidya, which is the inability to see things clearly, yeah? Inability to see the robe rather than the snake, the inability to see the essential nature of the universe as Brahman, as consciousness, because we see only on the surface, yeah, on the superficial level, we see the name, colors, and forms. Yeah? So this is said to be an avidya which is experienced by the Jivatma in all the three levels of human experience. So there is a pranya, as a taijasa, and as a vishwa, there is always this avidya operating. So they're not, of course, the avidya in the causal body is absolute avidya, meaning to say there is no question of knowledge and ignorance, So and it is a good thing, but unfortunately, ignorance stands against knowledge. So if we go back to that Anandamaya Kosha, we experience a certain resolution or peace, because there is no question of knowledge and ignorance. So there is no risk of making any mistake, because the intellect is not being called to make its choice. So the moment that we are conscious and then we're in trouble, we awake because we need to make choice in a moment-to-moment basis. And there is always room for trouble, mistakes. Because we have avidya partially operating in the awakened state. We say that in the awakened state, we experience a little bit of knowledge and some ignorance, and this seems to be the problem. There is the proverb which says that ignorance is bliss, because if we are fully ignorant, and then we are in peace. And if we are fully knowledgeable, if that would be possible. Isvara is total knowledge. So if we would have the ability to have full knowledge, total knowledge of everything, and then we say, okay, I am at peace, because there is no ignorance operating. So what causes discomfort and trouble is ignorance, as we know. So total ignorance is peace, is bliss. Total knowledge is bliss, but we don't refer to self-knowledge as the same knowledge that Isvara enjoys. We refer to self-knowledge, the knowledge in regards to our substantial, essential free nature. Let me put it here in airplane mode. So self-knowledge is the knowledge that's going to remove avidya, because it provides us with the understanding of our essential nature, which is not affected by everything that happens in the field of experience, dualistic field of experience. So that's to say something about these two aspects of the causal body. One is the macro, one is the micro, and the other one is the macro. The second factor is potential form. It's known as Maya. Together, Maya and the Vidya form the unmanifest avyakatam. So we have the unmanifest, in which these two aspects are there. One is Maya, which from this angle we can see as the power to project the universe, and the other is avidya, which is the macrocosmic causal body, in which the individual souls are integral parts. Before creation, we have Brahman as pure consciousness existence, and we have avyakatam, the unmanifest. So what it says that before the universe, before the day of Brahman, before Maya comes into operation and projects the universe, so before the manifestation, before creation, we have what? We have Brahman as pure limitless consciousness, and we have also Maya, avyakatam, the unmanifest. Okay, so it points to the fact that Maya is always there as a potential, but it's not always manifest. And it is a unique kind of potential because it would mean to say that it's integral part of consciousness, but consciousness, Brahman, is partless. So this Maya thing, this Maya power is something that is present at all times, even when it's not manifest, is there as potential, but it's not integral part of Brahman consciousness, okay? Because consciousness is Satya. And Maya, although it's always there, okay? It's always there, but it's not all the time manifest. And it's there as just a superimposition, or a projection, or a potential something that is not real. It's just having the seed of mirage is there, and then the mirage comes into play. So the seed of mirage is there at all times, but does not sprout to produce the mirage at all times, just when conditions are appropriate, okay? So we have Maya and Avidya, this creation. Before creation, we have Brahman, pure consciousness, and we have this macrocosmic causal body, okay, which is then unmanifest, in which everything is contained, okay? Isvara, jiva, and jagat is contained within this unmanifest avyakatam. Both are beginningless and uncreated. So we have these two factors now. One is Brahman, and the other one is Maya. And Maya is before the creation, it's unmanifest. Both Brahman, pure limitless consciousness, and Maya, both are beginningless, and both are not created. So now we have something that brings Maya again a little closer to Brahman, because Maya was never created. It has always exists as a potential or as a power, okay, between Brahman and Jagata, Isvara, Jiva, Jagat. So between there is, the best analogy again is the talent, or the abilities of the jivatmas. We have certain talents and abilities that is not really something that I could say it's me. No, it's just a certain potential talent or abilities that I may exercise, I may not exercise, depending on the circumstance. So before creation, we have the unmanifest avyakatam. So both consciousness and the unmanifest avyakatam, they are beginningless and they are uncreated. However, Brahman is the unchanging factor of consciousness, and the unmanifest avyakata is the changing matter principle. You see the difference there? There are things in the universe that, although they are always ever present, they are beginningless, existing, such as Isvara, Jiva, and Jagata, and Maya as well. All these things, they exist beginninglessly, okay? Beginninglessly. Maya exists forever and can never be destroyed, but there is something about Maya, which is the other aspect, which is avidya, which relates to the individual soul, that can be destroyed on the individual level only. So we can take care of our avidya, but we can never cancel Maya. We cannot cancel Isvara either. So we have to live with that, knowing that that is not possible. So the difference is the Brahman is not only beginningless and limitless, but it is unchanging. Nirvikaraha, it's unchanged, never changed, always ever present, never modifying under any circumstances. So Brahman is unchanged. And the unmanifest avyakata is the changing matter principle, is this Prakriti, this fundamental nature of Prakriti that is always changing. Maya it brings about the three universal conditions, the causal, the subtle, and the gross universe. Of the two principles, it is Vyakata that evolves to become the gross body of the universe. So as we know, consciousness provides, let's say, the background, the screen or the mirror, and then within the mirror, within the screen of consciousness, and then Maya evolves or develops, okay? Change, because it's everything from Maya below is always in a constant flux of change. This change, this evolution is a gradual process. Just as the seed in time becomes a sprout, in a similar manner, the causal condition of the universe gradually evolves into a subtle condition consisting of the 5 subtle elements, and later on into the gross condition of the universe. From the subtle elements arise the subtle body and the subtle universe, the micro subtle jiva and the macro jagata, but the subtle jagata, the subtle body of the universe. Later, this subtle state of jiva and jagata evolves further into a gross state consisting of the 5 gross elements, which are all visible to us. These in turn produce the gross body and the gross universe. So what is relevant in here is this idea of the evolution is a gradual process, okay? So it is a gradual process, but often, as we know, it is present as an instantaneous projection. Okay, so when universe, let's say when Maya wakes up and then he projects the universe, he projects something that all at once comes causal, subtle, and physical. Okay, so when we look from a larger picture, so the universe is projected instantaneously, poof, from the standpoint of consciousness, poof, the causal, the subtle, and the gross universe. And then we have the entire picture right there. But from the standpoint of the Jiva, we see it as a evolution, a gradual process. Okay, why? Because when we look at our small little planet, which is a small microcosmic dust, compared to the immensity of the universe. So when we look into life in our planet, it looks like in a linear timeline that it's evolving. Life is coming forth, from the water, from the sea, from all kinds of theories. So we have the impression that life begins within matter. You understand? But no, life does not begin within matter. Life began from Maya and the macrocausal body, and everything was contained already there, and then in the subtle, and then in the gross. But then when we come here, we come late to the part, let's say, and then the things, okay, millions of years ago, our planet, we call our planet the world. Our planet is nothing. Okay, so the world was like this and like that, and then slowly there was all this modification. We have no clue of how many civilizations was there before the one we know. You understand what I'm trying to say? It appears that it's a process of evolution, but no, it's a process of constant change, because in nature nothing remains the same one moment from another. Okay, so we have the universe that appears to be evolving, but the best word that I like to use to present it, it's a flux of the elements in constant change and in constant adaptation to find its balance, its equilibrium of life. You understand? So everything is adapting, changing all the time to find its balance, because it is designed to be in equilibrium. No? It's designed intelligently, as we know. So it appears to us that it's evolving, but no, it's the nature of nature. It's constant change. And it's all the time, it's adapting, Some species come and some species go, and then the conditions, the chemical, the air, and everything of our planet change, and then the life forms are going to be changing. And the fact that we may think that here there was intelligent life billions of years ago, but not before. So how about in so many other corners of the universe, okay? Because these intelligent organisms, they are free to evolve anywhere, whenever circumstance are favorable. So that is my take on this idea of evolution as a gradual process. From these subtle elements arise the subtle body, and then later on, the gross universe. Any question about that? Any insights, any ideas? No complaints? Okay. Original consciousness and reflected consciousness. So this is an easier topic for us. We have already established that the three bodies, the gross, the subtle, and the causal bodies, are made of matter. So I guess it's clear for all of us that energy is subtle matter. And when the world is not grossified, meaning to say fully manifest as gross matter, it still exists as subtle matter, because everything from Maya down the line is matter, subtle matter, gross matter, or grossified energies and subtle energies, as we like to put it. Everything is made out of matter, and as such are known as anathema. So now anathema, the not self, is said to be matter. Why? Because it's absolutely inert. Matter is inert. Oh, but jiva atma is also made out of the 5 elements, and therefore it's matter. But jiva atma is conscious. And then we have to remember that the jiva atma is not the body-mind complex. Jiva atma is the reflected consciousness that requires these 3 bodies to be put in place. And then we see in the subtle body, we see jiva atma, which is not matter in its sought conscious aspect, but in its substantial aspect, the jiva atma is matter, because he's going to be identified with the 3 bodies, and the 3 bodies are matter. There is no consciousness coming from the 3 bodies. Consciousness is coming from Brahman, and jiva atma is the reflection of consciousness, Brahman's consciousness, that comes through association, and quote unquote, with the 3 bodies, okay, which is not matter. Okay, so we know that everything is matter except the jiva atma. Yeah, because I am Brahman. Yeah, aham brahmasmi. I am that consciousness. Everything is anathema except the jiva atma. Even though they are inert matter, these bodies are pervaded and enlivened by consciousness, which makes them conscious or sentient. So now it says, although this matter is inert, there is some power that make these matters move and dance, okay, and interact and respond to its environment as if they contain life or consciousness or sentience. And in fact, they contain sentience. They contain a certain power that animates and enlivens, and allow them to follow their nature and respond to the environment according to its very nature, intelligently designed. So we know that there is a conscious aspect on all sentient beings, and there is also a conscious aspect in all inert beings, such as the earth and the rocks. Why? Because they are made out of consciousness. They just do not have enough sattva to be able to shine with reflected consciousness. But in the vegetal realm, we have all the plants which are jivas. They are sentient beings. So the inert beings, they do not respond because unfortunately they don't have enough sattva in their constitution, right? But they are beings. Everything comes from consciousness, and to a certain degree, we can say that they are kind of conscious beings, but suffering from acute condition of avidya, okay? Because there is, it's a condition in which they are totally into the another maya kosha, avidya, with no possibility to have any experience on a conscious level. So there is something that makes this matter, which is fundamentally inert, appear to be enlivened by consciousness, and this is consciousness itself. This consciousness, though, does not belong to the matter. It appears that it belongs to the matter, and science goes to the extreme to believe that consciousness is coming out of matter. And the scriptures are going to say consciousness is not part or product or property of any matter. Consciousness is in an independent principle or independent entity that produces or brings forth with the power of Maya matter, which is grossified energy. Maya reverts everything, and then the Upanishad comes to revert the reversal or something like that. So this consciousness, although it appears to be coming out of the body, it does not belong to the bodies. The bodies themselves function as a mirror. A mirror has no light of its own. And then we have the analogy of the mirror. So the mirror can reflect sunlight, but it does not contain light on its own. It depends on the original light to reflect light. So the three bodies, due to the quality of the subtle body, which is there in between the causal and the gross. So these three bodies together, they reflect consciousness. And then consciousness is produced as human consciousness, for example, or ants consciousness, or birds consciousness. So this consciousness is produced by the reflection on this body-mind complex of all living creatures, okay? So there is this reflected consciousness, which appear to belong to each one of those configurations of matter, but it does not come from matter. It belongs to whom? Belongs to consciousness, belongs to Brahman. Brahman has something, has a certain affection, as I often put it, has a certain affection with the subtle bodies. Whenever there is a configuration with three bodies in which there is a subtle body, Brahman, being very vain, he shines with sentience. He like, oh, here I am shining on my jiva. I am alive. I am the very source of consciousness. It comes from me. And as Nisargadatta Maharaj used to say, it is an advertisement of Brahman, of the absolute. He used to say, when you shine with consciousness, it's an advertisement of the absolute, he used to say. And then he says the body themselves function as a mirror. Mirror has no light of its own. If the mirror is kept under sunlight, we will see the reflection. By virtue of this reflected light, the mirror can illumine other things, not by its own virtue, not by its own light, but its life is borrowed light. It's as if consciousness of Brahman lends its life, concedes its life, to every configuration with three bodies, okay? But the light comes from our true nature in Brahman as Brahman. Huh? Thus, the non-luminous become luminous. How nice, huh? Thus, the non-conscious become conscious. The non-luminous become luminous. Yeah? The mirror becomes infused with light. In a similar way, the insentient becomes sentient because of reflected consciousness, shining consciousness. Each body has no life of its own, but it's made alive and conscious by the reflected light of consciousness. Do we have any doubt about that? Yeah. The body-mind complex is just a medium by which I shine, by which we shine. Yeah? But it's just a medium. Okay, we have a certain respect and we have a certain appreciation for this medium. We want to keep it nice, clean, polished, refined. Okay, but no attachments. Why? Because I know that even the medium, the ultimate medium, which is the human body, bodies of these intelligent configurations of my Isvara, even those bodies, they are just matter, and they are not, this reflecting media, they are not meant to live forever, to stay forever. And it's not necessary. We need a break. Sometimes we need a break. At the end of the day, we need to go to our bed and sleep because we need a break. After 60, 70, 100, 120 years, we need a break. We need to just take this body back to the elements and then wait until we are given a new one. Okay, if we are still in the mood to come back here. This all-pervading consciousness enlivens the entire universe. It is the reason, the cosmic, it is the reason the cosmos functions in an orderly manner. You see, this consciousness, it enlivens everything and it gives it order, intelligent order, structure. It is the reason this universe, this cosmos is orderly, structured, intelligently, laws governing this universe. Like a vast macrocosmic organism. How beautiful. Huh? It's a huge, single, organic, entity called the universe. Lately we start wrapping our mind around the fact that the planet, this little planet of ours, is one single creature, one single organism, organism, and it's alive. Everything is alive. That's why we cannot discount the inert, insentient object as not alive. You understand? The planet is alive as a entire organism. Yeah? Like a vast macrocosmic being, let's say, just as the cells and organs of our bodies function in an harmonious structure manner, so too does the universe. So the macro body and the micro body of the jiva, the micro body of the living small creatures and the macro body of the universe, they are all alive. They follow this design, which is structure, in such a way that everything is intelligently structured. Like a vast, just as the cells, so the universe. If we disturb this natural harmony, either on the micro as well on the macro, if we disturb this natural structure, this organized structure, it offsets the balance and results in undesirable consequence, as we know. You know, if we do things, I always loved medical, universal, or how you say, there is an expression, naturopathy and integral medicine. There is another word that I forgot. I like this approach, the medical approach, in which the body is one single organism, and you need to understand every time it goes off balance, okay? And more often than not, you just need to stop doing what brought it off balance, and then it has the power to find its own balance again. So that's why I believe in the medical approach based on behavior or lifestyle and diet, rather than taking the drugs, which usually address the symptoms. Huh? So it's an organic cell, either both ways, the micro, and the macro. If we disturb the natural harmony of the body, the micro body and the macro body, we're going to have undesirable consequence. The universe is not a chaotic mass of inert matter. No, it's beautifully designed to follow its laws. There is a lot of intelligent laws put in place. Everything, is within cause and effect and following these universal laws. It's not just matter, chaos. Pervaded and enlivened by pure consciousness, it functions intelligently. Just as there are three bodies, there are also three universes. Okay, the universe, the gross universe, the subtle universe, and the causal universe. On the macro and on the micro, macro and micro. The microcosmic level, the one original consciousness, animates the three bodies at both the microcosmic, the individual level, and the macrocosmic universal level. On the microcosmic level, when consciousness shines upon the causal body, this reflect consciousness is known as an entity called prana jiva. So we have consciousness shining or reflecting in the causal body of the individual soul. We are talking about the micro level. So we have the macro, and within the macro, we have all these micro individual souls, and then they are there enjoy a long rest, enjoying the avidya of the macro causal body of the universe. They are there having a nice rest and sleep, and there they enjoy themselves through their causal body. They are all experiencing the deep sleep of the prana, and we do it whenever Maya manifests the universe, and then we do it in the night most times. Some people have a nap in the afternoon. We go back to the macro-causal body, the micro-causal body in the individual, and we enjoy a video. But then when Maya goes to sleep, what's going to happen to the individual soul? They must go to sleep, because now nobody can go against the powerful Maya, of course. The same consciousness enlivening the subtle body is called Taijasa, the dreamer. We know it very well, and that goes to all this experience that exists in the subtle universe. All these lokas which are not manifest, all of them are experienced through individual subtle bodies. The souls that experience these different lokas, which correspond to collective subject experience according to the level of the quality of the mind of each one of us. So we have it in the subtle level as well. And in the subtle level, the individual soul is referred to as Taijasa, the dreamer. And we dream in association with the physical body, meaning to say we have a physical body, having a physical body, we enjoy three different levels. Total ignorance, avidya, deep sleep, and then dream, in which we are shining. We are shining and we experience the content of our subtle body. And then we experience ourselves in the awakened state as well. In that case, we have some knowledge and objective reality and duality and so on. So it's called the Taijasa, the one who dreams. We dream, what I was trying to say, we dream while incarnated, while in association with the physical body. We dream during a certain portion of our sleeping state when those vasanas, they just shine. And then the Taijasa is there in association with its own physical body. It still holds on to the physical body. The physical body is still good enough to process karma and vasanas. But then when it loses the physical body, this individual soul is going to shine and experience different lokas, different realms or levels of experience, just the way the dreamer experienced during the night while holding access to its physical body. Consciousness animating the gross body, and then now we have a third body, the gross physical body. Consciousness animating the gross body during the awakened state is called Vishwa, the waker. Together, these three states of reflected consciousness. It's so interesting. Swami Paramahansa puts the prana as well as a reflection of consciousness. You see, both these three states of reflected consciousness. You remember those conversations about the experience of Anandamaya Kosha, the deep sleep. Is there experience entity or not? And the scriptures say, yes, there is. It is a prana jiva, which is a reflected consciousness that occurs within the causal body, okay? It is a kind of, subconscious or conscious reflection, meaning to say we cannot really capture it except in retrospective, because we know we have had a nice experience, but we can't really capture it and hold it clearly, objectively through our sense organs that experience. We just have the the fragrance of it once we come back to become the awaker, when we come back with the fragrance of that experience, so to speak. The jiva cycles through these three states of awaking, dreaming, and sleeping every day. So the jiva atma experiences these three states every day. It's a cycle that occurs within every 24 hours for us. And it experiences the dreaming and the deep sleep state, maybe, when not in association with a physical body. We don't know. I mean, maybe when we leave the body, I don't know if Shwara puts us to dream all the time in one of these lokas, or if it gives us a break and puts us into total avidya. No, okay, you dreamt so much now, let me put you to have a rest. You are in the loka number 4, so you have enjoyed yourself, suffered a little bit, now sleep, okay? Total avidya here for you. So we don't know, I don't know. But we know how it is in one single day. Of course, there are people who, unfortunate for one reason or another, they cannot really enjoy a proper or enough deep sleep, which is unfortunate, because it is as important as we know. On the macrocosmic level, when consciousness shines upon the causal body, it is known as antaryami, the causal universe. Okay, those are technical terms. Antaryami is the universe in its potential seed formation, okay? But it is the universe, it's the cosmic body of the universe in its potential formation. Consciousness enlivening the subtle body is called hiranyagarbha. This is an expression that is more common to us, Vedantine, because we know the universal mind of the planets or the cosmos, let's say. Now we think in terms of a planet, we have a universal mind, the culture of everything, past, present, and future, the state of, mental state of the jiva atoms in this planet, that constitutes this hiranyagarbha, which is the conscious, the subtle universe, the mind of the subtle universe. And when consciousness enlivens the gross universe, it's known as virat, which is the gross manifest universe. These three levels as a whole are called Isvara. So this is a nice statement. So this is Isvara. As we know, Isvara is the efficient cause. It is the energetic cause. And it is the mental cause. And energetic means to say there is a lot of rajas that brings about the subtle universe as well. You understand? You have sattva, you have a lot of rajas. When we have a dream in the middle of the night, we are dealing with our impressions, and then there is sattva producing the reflection, and then there are rajas projecting our dream world. You understand? So when we come to Isvara, we find Isvara as the efficient cause, the intelligent cause, the seed cause of the universe, and then we have the subtle, the subtle universe as Isvara, the collective, the universal mind of Isvara, and then we have the gross universe that is often referred to as Jagat. But the gross universe here is referred to as Virat from this angle of analysis. In short, Jiva and Isvara are reflections of the original consciousness obtaining in the microcosmic and in the macrocosmic mediums, respectively. So what is Jiva? So Jiva is a reflection of original consciousness that occurs in the individual subtle body. That's why it's so important for us to purify and refine our subtle body. And the subtle body does not stand alone. I mean, if we want to take good care of the subtle body, we need to also look after the physical body. You say, no, I want my subtle body to be very sattvic, but my physical body, it can become as tamasic as one may imagine. No, because the body-mind is one single integrate organism. So we need to take care of this body-mind complex so that we have this reflection. So what is the difference? So Jiva is a reflection in the micro mirror apparatus. The micro mirror, meaning to say one's own subtle body. And Isvara, his consciousness reflect into the macrocosmic medium, reflecting medium, meaning to say Maya or Prakriti. While scientists continue to study the universe and argue over its origin, this simple analysis of creation is given by Vedanta, and nobody in the scientific world, because I don't believe they will never present with these teachings, okay? But nobody is going to give it any attention. And why? Because they they can never look at phenomenal, universal phenomena from the standpoint of consciousness. They always look at phenomenon from the standpoint of the jiva, and they take themselves to be the matter aspect of the jiva. And then from that perspective, they want to find the origin of the universe. And to find the origin of the universe, it's like the metaphor of that lady that lost something very small, like a needle, something, lost her needle, and she lost it in the kitchen. But somehow she was looking for it at the balconies, at the decks outside, you understand? And she was looking in the wrong place. So somebody asked her, so let me help you, but where did you lost? I lost in the kitchen, but there is not enough light there. So let me look here. So if you look for the origin of the universe, and if you look for it in Mithya, are you going to find it? No. You have to stand in Satya, as consciousness, and from the standpoint of consciousness, Satya, and then you have a good chance to understand where the universe comes from. But if you stand in Mithya as Mithya and look for the cause of the universe in Mithya, you're going to be confused, because causality is designed in such a way that there is no absolute cause in Mithya. Every cause in Mithya is relative, because the cause becomes an effect, and the effect becomes a cause. You understand? It's cyclical. So the seed becomes a tree, the tree becomes a seed. There is no absolute cause of the seed or the tree. So you need to stand out of this whole process of constant flux of change, cause and effect, cause and effect. And then from there, you can understand the cause of the universe. But no scientist can even come close to understand it, because they take the substantial matter aspect of their jiva-atma, their intelligence. They take the body-mind to be the source of consciousness. They don't understand that there is consciousness, and consciousness is an independent entity. You understand? The oneness of Jiva and Isvara. One of the most important topics in Vedanta is the essential oneness between Jiva and Isvara. So there are two ways we can look into it. We can say that Isvara, is the totality of the manifest in the three levels: causal, subtle, and gross. Isvara is the totality. And then Jiva is integral part of Isvara, of the totality. So we have the one of the most important are these final declarations that come in the Mahavakyas of the Upanishads, that says that Jiva and Isvara are the same. But in which way the Jiva and Isvara are the same? I mean, Isvara is all-knowing, omnipresent, omnipotent, pure intelligent, and Jiva is so small and limited to the experience of the Jiva-atma is that he is limited to its own physical body, and its own notions and knowledge and so on. So in which way Jiva and Isvara are one? So we can say that Isvara is everything and Jiva is integral part of Isvara, and then if I, Jiva, I am Isvara, and then I am also the powerful, all-knowing Isvara, which is not a fact. You understand? A lot of people in the spiritual world believes that enjoy this notion that I am God, I am God, I am God. or they say, I'm driving I'm directing, living my life as a co-pilot. I have Isvara on my side, and I'm co-pilot with Isvara, you know. So there are all these funny notions, but no, Isvara and jiva, they are only the same in the fundamental essence nature of both, because both are Brahman, both are pure limitless consciousness. And one is reflection in the micro subtle body, micro reflecting medium, and the other is a reflection in the macro reflecting medium, which is Maya. So we have one reflection and we have another one reflection, which is the Jiva Atma. So what is common between the both? Both are reflected consciousness. Yeah? So in reflect consciousness is as good as original consciousness if we look for its essential nature. They are both light of consciousness. Do you agree, Elizabeth? Good. Okie dokie. So we're gonna go more into this next week, and we're gonna have to wait until next year, but it's gonna go very fast now. Anything else? Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you. I'm going to take this opportunity to thank you, those of you who have been helping me, supporting me, with donations. It has been more important than ever. My income from the United States is disappeared for at least 6 months, and so it's very much appreciated. But I totally understand that it's a difficult time, and some of us cannot really do much about that. So anybody who has been helping is highly appreciated, and I really thank you all. Okay, so again, we meet again next Monday. Arrivederci, goodbye, namaste, ciao.
Namaste, ciao.
Thanks, Arlindo. Another brilliant satsang. God bless. Happy New Year.
Thank you, my friend. Much appreciated.